grab your favorite blanket, get cozy, and buckle up, for once you enter, there's no turning back. The Scarlet Leaf. In the small town of Eldridge Hollow, autumn draped the landscape in a quilt of fiery reds, fiery oranges, and the faint scent of impending frost. As days grew shorter and shadows lengthened, the townsfolk began to notice peculiar changes around them. An ancient oak tree, its trunk gnarled and its limbs sprawling, stood at the edge of the abandoned town cemetery, a few blocks from the bustling main street. With the onset of the season, an unusual spectacle had emerged. From the base of the oak, a single scarlet leaf unfurled every morning, a vibrant anomaly amongst the muted tones of fall. The townspeople pointed it out to one another, gossiping in hushed tones as they hurried past, eyes glancing nervously at the graveyard through the wooden fence. Those who were intrepid enough to approach felt an uneasy chill sweep through the air, an invisible hand brushing against their skin, urging them not to linger. Hazel McCall, a woman in her mid-30s, had long been an observer of oddities. A writer of local folklore, she had learned to notice the threads of mystery woven into the fabric of everyday life. Compelled by the rumors surrounding the scarlet leaf, she found herself wandering towards the cemetery one afternoon. As she walked the cobblestone path, her heart raced in anticipation, the anticipation of revelation. Upon reaching the cemetery gate, she felt an inexplicable pull towards the ancient oak. Its branches arched as if to embrace her, beckoning her closer. She knelt by the foot of the tree, eyes tracing the fallen leaves that blanketed the earth, a sea of russet and gold, when something caught her attention. The ground below the tree seemed different, disturbed. As she brushed aside the leaves, her fingers grazed the cool surface of something solid. A wooden box, intricately carved but with jagged edges, lay half buried. It was painted deep green, weathered with age, and adorned with symbols that felt familiar yet unsettling. She pried it from the earth, the weight feeling both foreboding and intriguing in her hands. As she opened the lid, a musty aroma wafted out, mingling with the crisp autumn air. Inside the box, Hazel found old letters, yellowed and fragmented, their ink faded but legible enough to decipher. They spoke of love and betrayal, of two lovers torn apart by dark secrets, a hidden child, the arrival of which was met with whispers and tragic consequences. It detailed the lives intertwined in near silence, buried beneath the veil of the town's idyllic facade. But there was more. A journal, with a leather cover cracked and worn. As she flipped through it, she discovered sketches of the very oak beneath which she sat, accompanied by cryptic writings about heartache and loss. One page was particularly devoted to the event of autumn, an elaborate depiction of the scarlet leaf, its significance outlined in poetic lines that spoke of a promise, a curse, and of a cycle unbroken. As dusk approached, Hazel felt a sense of urgency overwhelm her. The journal contained a riddle, a promise of what was to come when the scarlet leaf finally fell. She looked up, heart pounding, and saw that the sky overhead had shifted, colors bleeding together in a symphony of deep oranges and purples. Shadows draped the cemetery, elongating as the sun slipped behind the horizon. In her small study that night, she spread the contents of the box across her desk. With a fresh cup of herbal tea in hand and a pen poised, she began to weave the threads of the tale, what she had unearthed that day. The mystery of the scarlet leaf entwined itself within the pages of her mind, depicting the legacy of those who had come before, and an urgency to reveal the truth, before shadows fell once more. Days turned to weeks, and the scarlet leaf from the oak continued to draw the eyes and whispers of the townsfolk. But to Hazel, it became more than just a curious spectacle. It embodied a story longing for voice. The anticipation of the leaf's fate pulls through her as she poured every inch of her heart into her writing. She carefully traced the pain, loss, and desperate yearning of the lover's tale, crafting it into melancholic prose. As winter threatened to blanket the town, the day finally arrived when a haunting stillness enveloped Eldridge Hollow. The scarlet leaf, after weeks of defiance, was lost to the wind, spiraling down like a final act of surrender. In that moment, as it fell softly to the ground, Hazel experienced a revelation, a whisper of those whose stories were entangled with it. And with it, she understood that the heart of mystery was not to remain buried, but to be shared, unraveling the past and stitching it with the present. In a world where secrets lingered beneath layers of fallen leaves, she found her calling. The autumn chill settled comfortably around her, a promise of fresh beginnings beneath the fallen leaves. Thank you for joining us on this spine-chilling journey into the unknown. If you dare to explore more mysteries and uncover deeper secrets, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your next adventure awaits, in the shadows. Stay curious, stay spooky,